Hi, Michael Goldberg here, networking speaker, trainer, boxer, author of Knockout Networking, here for another round of 3-minute rounds. So, question, how do I move from networking to follow-up after an event? Great question. So basically, how do I follow up? Have you ever gone to an event or a cocktail party or even a golf outing, wherever it is, and you end up collecting cards and you're thinking that you're being a good doobie because here I am, look at me, I'm networking and I've got these business cards, but you don't know what to do with them. You feel like you want to follow up and call, but you don't really know how to do it because you're not sure how it's going to come across because it feels very, very self-serving. Or maybe you're not really sure what the other person's thinking, you're not really sure how you left it, that type of thing. So now you end up collecting all of these cards on your desk, and they end up a paperweight in a snarl of rubber bands. Can you see that paperweight in a snarl of rubber bands? That's your lack of follow-up. And the reason is because you did not establish why you are collecting that business card or why you might have even asked for it. So let me digress. There's 4 phases of networking, and I'll cover them in more detail in future rounds. But there's 4 phases of networking. There's what I call the preparation phase, then there's presentation, follow-up, and maintenance. Preparation is doing your due diligence and homework before going to an event where you strategize and do your homework and figure out who you need to speak with, what you're going to say, and what the outcome is that you're looking for. And then other aspects of the event that you want to know ahead of time before actually showing up to the event. That's preparation. Then there's presentation. Presentation is what you're saying to people when you meet them beyond the introduction. That's getting into your questions. That's exploring what they do, establishing rapport, delivering your elevator pitch when asked, and figuring out how you might help one another. Then there's follow-up, and that's what you're going to do after the presentation phase. Post-event. So how you're going to reconnect, why you're going to reconnect, and what that whole scenario looks like. And then there's maintenance. And maintenance is how are you going to maintain and ultimately grow the relationship and stay in touch so it becomes fruitful over time. So now that I've set that up, how do I go about following up after meeting somebody at a networking event? That was the question. The deal is this. Follow-up starts in the presentation phase. Follow-up starts in the presentation phase. So when you exchange cards and continue to exchange niceties, simply ask. Say, you know, it seems as though that we can do a lot of business together. It seems as though you and I could refer each other. It seems as though we can help each other with ba, 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 ba. That said, what might be the best way to follow up with you to brainstorm and figure out how that might happen? And once you figure out how that might happen, jot that down on the business card so now when you go home or back to the office, you now have a bit of a strategy. And once you have that strategy in mind, I would suggest following up over the next 24 hours or perhaps the next business day or when the two of you have decided that you should follow up and follow through. You see how the follow-up starts in the presentation phase? It doesn't start in the follow-up phase. If you get back to the office and you're looking at somebody's business card and you're not sure why you have it or what you need to be doing next, you didn't do your job as a networker establishing that, those next steps in the presentation phase. So consider that the next time you're at an event and the next time you're shaking hands and kissing babies with somebody. Well, that's it for 3-minute rounds. If you have a question, a comment, or something you want me to weigh in on, write me at michael@michaelnetworks.com and maybe we'll talk about it in a future 3-minute round. Hey, take care of yourself. And remember, keep the left up.